Hey, hello, and welcome to this episode of Learn Everyday English, your roadway to English proficiency. As you can tell, I'm outside today under the carport where we park our cars, but I had to move the cars because I'm working on a home improvement project, and I'll show you what I'm doing. But before I do that, there's 3 things that you can do for me. Hey, 1, like the video, 2, subscribe to the channel, and 3, tell your friends about it so that they can benefit from these videos too. Hey, just like you. So I'm outside and I got a home project I'm working on. I need to stain some doors. And the reason is, in the house, it's an older house. I think it was built in the 1970s. And a lot of the doors inside the house are original to the house. And they're getting kind of old, and they're a kind of white color. And we just want to change things up. We want to change things up a little bit and make the inside of the house look a little bit better. So we bought some solid wood doors. I think they're alder wood is a type of wood. But the wood is untreated, we say. It's untreated. It doesn't have a color to it. It's just a natural wood. So I need to put a stain on the doors, and after the stain I have to put like a protective coating on it of polyurethane. But today I'm going to be putting a stain on the door, and I'm going to show you that. So here is one of the doors that I'm going to be working on, and over next to it is the other door. So we have a total of 6 doors that we have to stain. But we've finished 4, and these are the last 2 doors that need to be worked on. But this is the natural wood, as you can see. There's nothing on it, no paint, no stain, anything. So we have to put a stain on the door, and then, like I said, put a polyurethane on the door. So these are the 2 doors that I need to work on today. Okay, this is the stain that I'm going to put on the door, and it's called the brand name is Varathane, and it's called a classic penetrating wood stain. And on the can there's the color of the stain, and it's the color of red oak. So I'm going to put this on the door. Then I have to let that dry for a day, and maybe tomorrow I'll come back and put the coating on it, protective coating, which is called a polyurethane. This is the same manufacturer, brand Varathane, but it's called Ultimate Polyurethane, and it's an oil-based coating. And as you can see on the can, it says interior, which means it's designed for interior use only. I couldn't put this on, say, wood I'm going to have outside. It wouldn't last as long. So that's what I'm going to be doing, putting the wood stain on the door. The first thing I'm going to do is put on some protective gloves. I have a box here, and these are, I think, latex gloves, because I don't want to get the wood stain on my hand. So I'm going to put these gloves on. I think they're one size fits all, as we say, one size fits all. So you just buy one box, and it doesn't matter how big or how small your hands are. The gloves will work for any size of hand. So I'll put these on, and they kind of tend to tear easily, especially after you start sweating in the gloves. Then the next thing I'm going to do, I bought this bag, and it says premium wiping cloths. So They're just standard, you can say rags or cloths. But wiping, that means I'm going to dip the rag or cloth into the stain and then put the stain or apply the stain to the door. And then once I do that, I'm going to wipe this stain off, and it's going to leave a stain or leave the color, the red oak color, on the door. So you'll see how that process works. Well, the next thing I need to do is shake the can up to mix up the stain so it's not separated inside the can. And this should be good enough. I'm going to take a screwdriver and say take the top off, or pop the top. So I just have to go around the can a little bit, loosen the top up, then I can take the top off. And there we go. I don't know if you can see inside the can, but the stain is pretty watery. We say it's liquid. And so now I'm going to start staining. So now I'm going to start staining. I have one rag or cloth I'm going to use to wipe, and the other one I'm going to use to dip in the stain, and then wipe the stain on the door. So here we go. So now I'm ready to start staining. I'm going to dip the rag or cloth into the stain. So now the cloth has stain on it. I'm going to just wipe the stain on the door like this. Starting to run out of stain, put some more on. I'm going to do this section here. And I'm going to take this other cloth, this clean cloth, and just wipe any excess stain off the door. And this is the color of the door that it's going to look like once the stain has been applied. So I'm going to do this whole thing for the whole door. So I think you get the idea of that, and I just need to continue and to do the whole door. All right, I'm going to keep going, but one of the problems you can see, we have these, we say these rivets or these nooks and crannies here where the wood is kind of lower or recessed from this part. And then we also have these, we say nooks and crannies, these little parts that are hard to get into, say, with a rag. So I'm going to use a special tool to do that, and that special tool is a toothbrush. Yes, it's a toothbrush, if you can see that. So I'm going to dip the toothbrush in the stain, apply the stain in the crack here. Makes it a lot easier to use than a rag. Then take my rag and just run it in the crack to remove the excess stain. And that makes it a lot easier to apply the stain in these cracks. And this really works well when I got these little really difficult areas to try to get the stain into. Again, wipe the excess off. So I'm just going to continue with this process. And I can say now we're
cooking with the gas. That's an expression that means we're moving along pretty well. We're moving along at a good pace.
Well, I have finished staining the door, and you can see here it's got a nice, even, smooth look to it. And I got to let this dry at least a day. Tomorrow I can either put the polyurethane coating on it, or I can flip the door over and stain the other side and then let that dry. You usually got to let everything dry for a day and then do the next coat. So we'll show you that coming up. So here are the doors that have been stained, but so when I'm going to put the polyurethane coating on, I showed you the can of that last time, but I'm going to use a brush to put the polyurethane coating on. But after I use the polyurethane, it's kind of thick and it causes the bristles of the brush. These are called the bristles of the brush. It causes the bristles of the brush to become hard. So I bought some what we call turpentine, and I poured it in this glass jar, and I put the brushes in the jar with the turpentine to keep the bristles from getting hard, so I can use the brushes over and over again. But now I'm going to start staining, or I'm going to start putting the polyurethane on the door.
So now I got the polyurethane, as you can see here, and my brush. I'm just going to dip the brush. We say dip the brush in the can and spread the urethane on the door. So let me show you how that works. Okay, well that's how we apply the polyurethane coating, and I'm getting a good workout doing my Kung Fu horse stance. But as you see, I've applied the polyurethane coating to this area here, and I just need to repeat that process for the whole door. It's kind of we say it's a slow and tedious process. Tedious, which means it's kind of maybe a little bit aggravating. But something that you got to do. So it goes on. See how the color of the door changed? It's shiny, but it's going to dry, and it won't be shiny anymore, but it'll have a protective layer on the door. So that's how we stain and put this protective coating on these solid wood doors. So hopefully you learned something, and I'm going to call it a video. Let me know what you thought of the video. Have you had to do this before for doors that you have, or any type of woodworking projects? Let me know. So, there's 3 things you can do for me. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tell your friends about it. So until next time, hopefully you enjoyed this video of Learn Everyday English. Hey, we'll talk to you later. Goodbye.